I'm Judy Horn, and I'm at 132 East 2nd Street. And I need to ask you your opinion on the growth of this town. We're adding on to our park right now. When our park was built originally, we had people that didn't think we needed a park. And then when we voted to have a park, they wanted to downsize it, do a rinky-dink Mickey Mouse operation. The same thing went when we built Town Hall. They didn't think we needed a town hall that big, that nice. And my thing is that I think that for the town of Ocean Isle Beach, we need to stay within budget, but we need to put our best foot forward. We need to build and grow in an area that we're proud of. And, I'm for growth, but a steady, healthy growth. And I want to know your opinion on the growth of Ocean Isle Beach. And also, if an issue came up that you were not in favor of, if you're on the East End and something comes up on the West End, we don't need the West pitting against the East End. So would you be able to vote for something for the East End or the West End, even though you're on the other end of the island? So that's my question. Is a healthy growth for this beach something that we can be proud of and stay within a healthy budget? Thank you.
So let me answer the second question first. If we talked about going to districting, for example, you might wind up with districts that were west and then midtown and then east. And those commissioners would be responsible for representing their constituencies within those small geographic areas. I've spoken to people along the entire island. Everyone has different needs. The East End has different needs. They have flooding, things of that sort, that the West End doesn't necessarily have. The West End has some road issues they'd like to turn over to the town, for example. And in the mid, you have on the canal streets, you have all sorts of issues with the parking and all of the visitors come in and stay at the pier or whatever the case is. So I'm a big proponent of having a commissioner who is responsible for everyone. And that way we don't get territorial about things. As far as growth, growth is inevitable, as people would say, but planned growth is extremely important. I'll give you one example. The community center is something that I believe, could plan better than the community center that is currently being designed. And it should be tailored towards the residents of Ocean Isle Beach. And then it is secondary if it can be used as an event center or something else. It also should be planned if it is going to be a true safety annex. It should be planned so that police officers and fire personnel would be able to stay there for days upon a time with all the amenities necessary in case that bridge did go out or there were a severe storm and they happen to be manning it. So I would relook at the community center as one example of something that, yes, we should grow, and it will be a great, I won't say amenity, but it will be a great facility for this town and its residents.
As far as growth, we're not going to stop growth. This place is too, it's just wonderful. Everybody's going to want to come here. So I think we just need to be a little more cautious as to what we do. Things like community centers that everybody can benefit from, that's one thing. We just be smart about how we do it. The other thing is, I had a Joe Biden moment there. So anyway, I'm gonna be in trouble when I get home. But anyway, growth is something we just gotta control. The thing I feel like is that we just are over things that we need, like town halls, community centers. That's good because that's everybody. but we need to be a little bit more strict on the number of single-family homes because that is getting to be a major problem. And by the time that next big storm comes, it's going to be a disaster. I don't think this island was made to accommodate the number of single-family homes that we're trying to put on here. I'm in the real estate business, but I think enough is enough. It has to be controlled. These developers are greedy, and it's just it's something we got to be aware of.
Brunswick County is the fastest growing county in the state as of last year's information, and Ocean Isle has grown a lot since the last census in 2020. I said this last time, we've been discovered. We're not going to stop the growth. We have to manage the growth. When you have something as pristine as what we have, it's our responsibility to manage it properly and take care of it. But I said this earlier, and I want to emphasize it yet again. The town, we have a big responsibility to all of you to make sure we retain the heritage that kind of got me interested in coming here, and a lot of you the same way. But people are going to come to the base of that bridge, and we have to be able to deal with it when they come across. As far as growth from single-family residences, as long as they meet our ordinances, I don't know how you stop it. Unless there's an emergency, unless there's some reason that our infrastructure can't handle it, we're going to continue to grow. So we have to manage the process. Frankly, I have as much of a concern about what is off island as I do on island right now, because over the next 10 years, with all of the pre-planning for roofs that'll be going up in Brunswick County, where do you think those folks are going to be coming for services? Especially up and down Old Georgetown Road, the developments closer to Charlotte, the ones that, not even to mention the one that we have that's part of our limits. So all that aside, I'm in favor of managing growth properly, but at the same time, like I say, we've discovered, and it's going to continue to come. We just have to be doing the right things to manage it.
Judy, it's a good question, and I'll answer the first one by saying when I get a call, it doesn't matter to me whether they live on the east end or the west end. I look at the problems as being part of the entire island. Secondly, continually managing the growth is what we've got to be about. It's going to happen, and we've got to be on top of it. The only way that, or one of the ways that I think that this group of people as a commissioner can help manage the growth is keeping a keen eye on the zoning stuff and making sure that these developers are following our zoning rules and not getting something out of whack from what we want to do. We have a great planning board. Larry Cheek on the back row there is part of it. And they speak zoning 101 every meeting, I believe. And as long as they say it works, then managing that growth can be done through proper zoning.
Yes, we are a growing community on and off the island, and that does bring a lot of challenges, including public services and infrastructure. So we're just going to have to continue to research ways to meet those needs, and also as far as and we always we need to look into Ashley. We have to manage it and research ways to deal with it. And then we also need to make sure we're meeting our community's needs versus all of our wants. Yeah, we want things, but do we really need some of those things? Mike mentioned the community center, the new proposed community center. And I'm all for a indoor community center, but I'm not for the largeness of what we're looking at. I think we can look at ways to decrease the size of it and still meet our community needs. And that will also help increase hopefully parking as well. So, and as far as issues are concerned, I want to do what's beneficial for all of the community, and all work together to help preserve this small town friendly atmosphere as we do continue to grow.
So I've been coming to Ocean Isle Beach as a vacationer, as a camper, as a homeowner, and a resident for about 68 years. And the growth has been taking place over that period of time. I mean, I can remember there was nothing on the West End. So yeah, growth has been happening for a period of time. And in spite of the growth that we've seen to date, I still think that this town has maintained its neighborhood character. And I think that is the most important thing for us to look at going forward. Growth's inevitable, like Art was saying, at Off Island, people are going to come over. But what we have to focus on is how do we maintain the character of the island in the face of this growth? And maybe through more structured parking. At some point, you just have to say we're full, and place it upon these other communities, maybe to provide transportation services and things like that coming over here to the island. That's one thought. My other thought about as far as growth and capital projects and things like that is they're great as long as we can afford them. We don't want to go into debt to do this. It's not the way I run my household. That would not be the way I would vote, to make improvements in the town. As far as, West End versus East End, I've lived on the West End, own property on the West End, now live on the East End. We represent everybody. I mean, you can't separate East and West. You have to represent everybody's interests. Thank you.